So obviously I came in July. We're talking back in September now. Like, school started, which is it's quite an experience for me because, everyone just were looking at me like, this guy's so small. It's probably part of the year sevens, yada, 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 right? So they've enrolled me in health and social care. I don't know how many people that they enroll at 15 for sixth form, but I've found that now that's probably not that common, to be fair. So, part of the health and social care group is people usually did mathematics because they failed it in GCSEs. And they used to do like this sub class. But the mathematics level I did in Nigeria is different. I've done maths, I've done further maths. So what they were doing for their GCSE retake to me was like, what is this? You know what I mean? So the teacher at that point just saw me disinterested because I was just like, I can do this in my sleep all day long kind of thing. So, and he's like, oh, you're not meant to be here then, right? So what he did, they went back down to Ruby, receptionist. They took me to Mr. Smith, which is like the head of the year at that point. And they were like, oh, just give him a last year's GCSE paper. Right, you've done that. I sat down in the room. I was like, oh, this is solid. So an hour, I banged it out. And they were like, oh, it's not meant to be here, is it? It's like, oh, what do you want to do? I was like, well, I was hoping to become a doctor, but I thought health and social care would get me there. And they were like, no, 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 no. You need to do biology, chemistry, physics, whatever. So I was like, oh, okay, that's what I want to do then. So they gave me all the past papers for GCSEs. And I just did them. And they were like, oh, it really doesn't belong here. So then they bumped me into A-level classes. Because I was putting myself in harm's way. Because this could have turned left, right? I'm an illegal immigrant in the UK, right? Let's not sugarcoat this, right? I'm an illegal immigrant at this stage. I went to the estate agent. He says something. Authorities get involved, right? Oh, he's not allowed to stay in this country. It's illegal. But at this point, I didn't even know what the term illegal immigrant was. Not at all, right? So the naivety served me well. I registered for for the sixth form. Come on now. They meant to ask for IDs and stuff like that. They never did, right? Maybe I just went in at the right day, right time, right moment. I do not know. Okay? It just happened like that. Maybe in their head, they would never think this is meant to be something that's happening. But it's just happened. Okay? That's why I think sometimes it's just good to be naive, right? Because good things happen when you're naive. Okay? The fact that you're naive makes you fearless in a way. You just put yourself there. Okay? So, me talking to neighbor, giving me a bicycle, it could have easily said, hold on a second, that's a kid living next door. Where's his parent at? He didn't say nothing. You know what I mean? So I look back and see all this moments when I registered for the GP, right? Again, where your parents at? Does that make sense? So I look at different moments and I'm like, wow, these were like defining moments that it could have gone pear-shaped here, I'm always like in the auction houses where people are like drinking, smoking, and I'm just like the little kid around the corner, the only black kid there. And I'm out here trying to buy this and that. You know what I mean? No one ever questioned me. No. But at this point, I was just naive, right? So I've gone through sixth form. I've come back after a break because I did 3 years at sixth form because my first year was kind of like a mixture of like getting into the course, helping struggling year 7 kids. The role later kind of evolved like over time. So like, when I then started A-levels proper, like I was in it, you know what I mean? So my health was stable at this point. I've been referred to Sickle Cell Center in Birmingham City Hospital. Shout out to the ladies there. They still actually like look after me really well now. So like I've kind of like grew up with them. So they've managed my condition as best as they can. Even now, like, so much struggles, but they talk to me like a human, which is good. Um, yeah. So like I think at that point, second year, you want to start applying for uni, right? Question that they're asking you: nationality, all this status, whatever situation. And I'm looking at the phone thinking to myself, whew, I'm Nigerian, right? Like, yeah, put that in there. It's fine. Okay. And then I'm looking at tuition fees. How are you going to afford a tuition fee at this point? And that's when everything started to make sense. I don't belong here, right? I don't have the right documentation to apply for university to do all of this stuff. But Mr. Allen, bless his soul, Mr. Allen was like this teacher back in what do you call it, in the wash with dish, right? Very nice guy, right? He never asked too many questions. All he just wanted to do was get me to a point I became a doctor, right? And he moved mountains for me, that guy did, right? Helped me on my UCAS application, right? With applying for medicine, you needed to do something called Duke of Edinburgh, right? The school's never done that before, right? He found the funding to get me into a program of something like that. He even sent me to something called MedLink, which was in Nottingham at that point. Everything paid for, right? Just so I can put it in the UCAS application, my personal statement. It helped me with all of this, right? Because in his head, yeah, nah, this guy's going to become a doctor. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do it, right? So I've done all this application. By that point, I knew the legal issue was a problem, right? Yeah, so that was, I think it was around that time, the steps and processes to get me legalized